This is a summary of press releases from Japanese electronics manufacturers on 4th December. All right, first up, we've got NEC, and they are making a huge move into the global market for something you're probably going to be using a lot more of very soon, facial recognition payments. So how are they planning to do this? Well, their venture capital arm just invested in a US company called Pop ID. But the real genius here, is in the partnerships. They're teaming up with absolute heavy hitters like Verifone, a giant in payment terminals, and, of course, PayPal. The plan is to merge NEC's #1 rated facial recognition tech with Pop ID's platform to basically kick the whole pay-by-face idea into overdrive, starting right in North America. And just listen to this quote from Pop ID's CEO, John Miller. It really tells you everything you need to know about their ambition. He's not just talking about buying a soda. He's picturing a world where your face is your ticket and your wallet. Imagine walking into a stadium or a theme park and having everything from entry to every purchase be completely seamless. That's the future they're building. Okay, from reshaping how we pay, let's switch gears to how we travel. Sony is up next, and they're about to make the daily commute a whole lot more interesting with a very cool project on public transport. What you're looking at here is the logo for something called MR Cruise. Now, Sony has already been experimenting with mixed reality on their own little electric carts, but this is them taking it to the next level. They're expanding the tech to entirely new forms of transportation, and they're starting with a monorail. This is all launching on the UE rail in Okinawa. So how on earth does it work? Well, it basically turns your normal train window into an interactive screen. It overlays computer-generated graphics and content right on top of the real-world view passing by. But here's the really clever bit. This isn't just for fun. By running this experience during off-peak hours, they're hoping to gently nudge tourists to travel when it's less busy, which could be a huge help in managing over-tourism. All right, let's look a little further into the future. Hitachi is gearing up for a massive showing at CES 2026. And if you follow tech, you know that CES is basically the world's biggest stage for innovation. And here is a little sneak peek of what they're planning. The theme is Inspire the Next, and the whole booth is built around this grand vision of creating a harmonized society. The idea is that technology and society should work hand in hand to solve our biggest challenges. To really show what that means, they're breaking their booth down into 6 distinct zones. It's like a roadmap of their entire tech ecosystem. They're going to be covering everything from their industrial AI solutions and sustainable energy, all the way to AI-powered mobility, smart cars, futuristic factories, and even a glimpse into their super-secret R&D labs. Now for a quick but really nice announcement from JVC Kenwood. This one's all about them supporting a major local event. So, JVC Kenwood has officially signed on to be a special partner for Yorinoyo 2025. If you're not familiar with it, it's this incredible annual light festival that pretty much turns huge parts of the city of Yokohama into a breathtaking work of art. Okay, let's move on to something incredibly important now. This is a really socially focused initiative from the Canon Group, and it's all about being better prepared for disasters. This project is tackling a massive challenge. When an emergency happens, how do you quickly and safely help the most vulnerable people? The elderly or folks with special medical needs. Well, their system is brilliantly simple. It's just 3 steps. First, people register their vital info. Second, that data gets shared securely through an app with family or supporters. And third, if a disaster actually strikes, those supporters can instantly see what's needed to give the right help fast. This is so critical, especially with the ongoing concerns about a major non-Kai trough earthquake. And what's really great is that Canon isn't trying to do this alone. This is a true collaboration in Kochi Prefecture. They're working right alongside local partners like Gezi Village and Gezi Hospital. And that kind of community-first approach is absolutely key to making sure a system like this actually works when people need it the most. Shifting gears now, literally, let's talk about Panasonic Automotive. They are making some really significant moves in the software that's going to run the next generation of cars. Panasonic is a big presence at the Open Source Summit Japan, and their entire focus is on what the industry calls software-defined vehicles, or SDVs. The easiest way to wrap your head around that? Just think of your car becoming a smartphone on wheels. Its features aren't fixed by hardware anymore. They're controlled by software that can be updated over the air. So they're showing off 2 key technologies to make this happen. First step is Unified HMI. It's a fancy name, but it just means car makers can control all the different screens in the car, your dashboard, your infotainment system, as if they were one single seamless display. The second is Virtual SkipGen, which is a cloud platform that lets developers build and test all this software way faster without even needing a physical car. And the big deal is that both are built on open source standards, which helps the whole auto industry innovate faster. And we're not done with Panasonic yet. There's more news, but this time it's about a very prestigious award that recognizes their deep commitment to something called inclusive design. Panasonic has won the Zero Project Award 2026, and what's so important about this is that it's not an award for a single product, not at all. It recognizes their entire process, their whole philosophy of actively designing and creating products with people with disabilities and other diverse users, right from the very beginning. It's about building for everyone, from the ground up. Okay, get ready to geek out a little because this next one from Mitsubishi Electric is some seriously fascinating R&D. We're talking about a breakthrough that could completely change how we cool down powerful electronics. Now, to understand this, we need a super quick physics lesson. It all comes down to something called the Marangoni force. All you need to know is that it's a force that can make a liquid move all by itself when there's a temperature difference on its surface. Just remember that, liquid moving on its own. So what did Mitsubishi Electric do with this force? In what they're calling a world first, they figured out how to use tiny microbubbles to trigger the Marangoni effect and create a self-propelling flow of cooling liquid. The massive takeaway here is that this could completely eliminate the need for mechanical pumps. And no pumps means smaller, quieter, and dramatically more energy-efficient cooling. For the next generation of power-guzzling AI servers, this is a really big deal. And for our final piece of news, we're looking at a major partnership from Fujitsu. They're tackling one of the biggest problems with AI right now, its enormous appetite for energy. Okay, so here's the issue in a nutshell. Today, most AI processing runs on these incredibly powerful but also incredibly power-hungry GPUs. Fujitsu and their partner, a European cloud provider called Scaleway, are proposing a totally different approach. They're developing a brand new, super energy-efficient CPU based on ARM architecture, and it's called Fujitsu Monica. The goal is to use it as a powerful but less thirsty alternative for AI tasks. The goals here are crystal clear. Goal number 1 is to fight back against the skyrocketing energy use in data centers. But just as important is their second goal, to provide Europe with a sovereign and sustainable AI infrastructure. Sovereign basically means it's built in Europe, controlled by Europe, for Europe. They're planning to start a joint proof of concept in late 2026, so this isn't just an idea, it's a serious, long-term strategic move. So there you have it, a roundup of some major moves from Japan's electronics giants. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a like.